So I have a question about Tesla, Robotaxi, and Optimus. In addition to my huge investments in stocks and crypto, saluti in Switzerland, I have set up my own business in the short-term rental sector, Airbnb, etc., i.e. classic rent-to-rent system. After all the great news in Tesla about the upcoming launch of Robotaxi in June and Optimus in 2025, 2026, I have exciting business ideas popping into my head with a big smile. Could you draw a business model to indicate whether this is realistic, please? If you use a Robotaxi as a private investor in the rent-to-rent system, 2 to 3 cars in your own fleet, full FSD, innovative charging, automatic cleaning, maintenance. I imagine Optimus primarily as an aid for cleaning and laundry in order to save cleaning staff, e.g. one bot per apartment. Do you think it's realistic for companies like Airbnb, platform companies, to adapt this business model and make it accessible to small businesses like myself? I envision a future where my Robotaxi picks up my guests directly from Zurich Airport. Kloten, I've flown in and out of there 1,000 times. I know it like the back of my hand. And drives them to my apartment, then shows them around Switzerland as a vacation car. And during their stay in the apartment, Optimus does the cleaning and service, as well as serving the dinner in the evening. Every service is paid for, of course. Does this sound feasible? So it's a beautiful view of the future, and we were all excited about that. But I'm just gonna throw a little bit of cold water on that vision, just to temper things. First of all, this is my view of where we are and where we're going. So don't expect a lot of this to happen soon, and especially not in Switzerland. So Robotaxi, not feasible in Switzerland in 2025, will be happening, by the way, in T-minus 13 days in the United States. Fingers crossed if it begins June 1st or sometime in June. So give or take 13 to 40 days, it's going to be happening here. The Optimus also not feasible. It'll be internal use only. They're making 10,000. They hope 5,000 will be able to work and do productive work in factories. Now let's go forward to 2026. It's possible if they expand it to Europe. The beauty of Switzerland is they're not beholden to the EU bureaucracy. So I do believe countries like Norway and Switzerland will adopt FSD first, and then Europe will be a fast follower. Then regarding the bot, now, this is the timeline that I see shaking out. First, Tesla will use the bots in their factories. Then Tesla will test the bots with their suppliers in their factories. And then Tesla employees will get a couple of bots to test at home. They like employees to test things. The employees are running around California right now and Austin, Texas in Robotaxis, and have been for many months flawlessly, from what I've heard. And then retail will get access to the bots, but that could take 3 years or more. And because of security, it might just be US only first. So don't hold your breath, first of all. But I do have something else to say that is kind of pertaining to your question. I didn't do detailed financial modeling, but once it becomes much more of reality and when we can see the line of sight and the cost, then I will model how many taxis it takes to retire on and all that type of stuff, because I'll be doing that myself. Now, this is kind of my view of what's going to happen. And this goes a little deeper than your question, but it's important to be aware of too. And this is kind of my vision of what's going to happen in the future. Basically, I think there is a time when AI will disintermediate and democratize everything. So the chokehold that the Airbnbs and the Ubers and all those types of players have on the world will go away. AI and social reputations and reviews and having the ability to create niches. I like what you're thinking in terms of your niche, your whole package, pick you up from the airport, bring you around in the car, show you all the sights, go to Jungfraujoch, all that type of stuff, and then come back to the apartment and make a nice dinner. It's brilliant. And that could be your niche. And the question is, how long will it take? And do you need Airbnb and others? No. By the time this is all available, you will build up your own social persona, profile, reputation for your business. And anybody who's looking for your niche will be able to find you instantaneously. There's no point in paying all those fees to somebody who's just using you to make money. So that's what I see happening. I see AI literally ripping everything out of these Airbnbs and Ubers of the world, etc. Now, by the way, then I get the question, oh, but that means robotaxi's dead too? No, because Tesla can manufacture at scale at a very cheap price. That's their ace in the hole. So let's not forget that. But look at some of the topics here to prepare for. Again, the way you're thinking, you sound very young, which is brilliant. But control, the centralized control for these things will be destroyed by AI in the future. There will be peer-to-peer, no central control, and managed by users. The other thing as well, your high commissions and fees, 30%, etc., or even more, will be nothing. You'll be able to pocket all that cash yourself, which would be wonderful. Trust and security. The blockchain, perhaps, will ensure your transparency and your security and your reputation, etc., so people can't gamify that system. But right now, the centralized authority controls the reputation, etc., of the 5 stars for the drivers, things like that. That'll all go away. And the user experience and established interfaces. The early systems, when you start building something yourself, you'll talk to Replit. You'll ask them to build your equivalent of an Airbnb app for your market with your niche and your value prop. That will easily be found by anybody searching for you on something like X. So remember, AI will make it perfect by the time all this stuff is ready. Regulatory compliance, we'll see where that goes. There could be some licensing required on your end to make all this happen, but it'll be a nothing burger, far less than the fees you pay to Airbnbs, etc. And adoption, okay? I'll stress this again. You have to have that niche catering to get that critical mass for where you want to go, okay? So if there's a way of pulling over your reputation and your reviews, maybe from Airbnb, storing them, so when the day comes when you are when you're able to go direct yourself, people will be able to find you and how good you are. That will be very important. So that's the way I kind of see the future rolling. And I hope you like that answer, but it's going to take time. Think 3 years plus. But I will also stress that the rate of change of AI and development is insane. Absolutely insane. So it's coming, but not sure how long it's going to take. Next question. Oh, by the way, on that previous question, I would stress everybody start thinking in this dimension too. What is your niche? What do you like to do? And how can you build your own business in the future? Because you won't need centralized platforms anymore.